Hey, sports fans, Louis Diamond back at you live from Las Vegas with BettorCenter Live. Going to get you all the information for all you fellow sports betting degenerates. All right, let's start with that first game on the board today. The Colorado Rockies, they are traveling to the Chicago Cubbies. And that game opens up with the Cubs about $1.40 favorite, and it's pretty much 35-40. The total opens up 8.5. We're seeing it steamed up to 9. We have wind going to the southwest, 7.1 miles an hour. So even though it's not the south-southwest, it's southwest, and that's good enough to get a little steam on the over. So a little action on that. So 8.5. $1.23 a pinnacle right now. I jump on that because that is the best price in town, and we are seeing 9 overs out there also. So get on that over as quick as you can. While you do that, let's take a look at the Rockies. They're 4 out of their last 5 meetings. They have beaten the Cubs, but they are 10-22 their last 32 in Chicago. They're hot right now, 5 straight wins for the Rockies. 17-42 on the road, though, versus a left-handed starter. 2-5 their last 7 versus a lefty overall. That will keep me off the side on the game. Marquez is 4-1 for the Rockies, his last 5 starts. The Cubs 5-2 their last 7 overall. And one of the best home teams in baseball, 52-24. So I will not be betting against them today. I don't see too much value in the dog against the Southpaw, but I do see a little value in the over as 7-3-2 for the Rockies. Their last 12 road games. We talked about the win, but the Rockies with the left-handed pitcher, though, 7-1 to the under on the road, 13-6 their last 19. The Cubs at home, we know, over 19-7-1, but 9-2 their last 11 versus a righty to the under. So Cubs on an under run, 9-3 their last 13. But we got the umpire with Bellino on the mound, 8-10 to the over, his last 5 Friday events behind the plate. So I see a little bit of an edge for the over simply because we got some over stuff, and we got the wind, and we haven't crossed the 9. So if you can get the 8.5, I see a little bit of a value in there. Not a huge play, but something to keep you busy on a Friday afternoon before the big action gets here. So next game on the board, going to feature the Texas Rangers. They will be traveling to the Washington Nationals, and the Rangers are 20 winners and 8 losers their last 28 interleague games, 9-4 on the road in those interleague games versus a righty, but they're cold right now, 1-5 their last 6, and they're not doing well with Cashner on the mound, 1-4 on the road. The Nats, we know they're hot. We've been talking about them being hot. 8-2 their last 10 overall. 6 straight winners in the first game of the series. 10-3 at home. 6-2 when Rourke starts at home. 26-10 when Rourke starts all together. So definitely see some parlay material there with your Washington Nationals today. They should be a solid winner. Going to look for them to parlay something. I'll find it during the show here. The under has been 6-1-1 for the Rangers on Friday, 8-2-2, their last 12 interleague road games. The over has been 10-4 for the Rangers in their last 14 versus a righty, and 5-2-1 overall. But when Cashner's on the mound, 7-3 to the under, 4-1 to the under on the road. The Nats 4 straight unders, 7-3 though to the over in interleague play, 8-2, and Rourke's interleague starts. 6-2, 6-2-1, and Rourke's 9 starts overall to the over. So not feeling much love for the total in this game. Definitely see some edge for the Nationals at minus $1.70. I will be parlaying that. Next game on the board, Miami Marlins and the Pittsburgh Pirates in Miami. Pittsburgh opens up $1.20 favorite. They're steamed up to $1.25 to $1.30. The over has been steamed as it opened up 9.5, and it is currently hanging 10 all over. But these two teams are over teams. Pittsburgh over at home, Miami over on the road. But The under has prevailed 34 out of the last 51 meetings. One push in there, 34, 16-1. And in Pittsburgh, 19, 7-1. So I'm not going to buck a head-to-head trend as strong as that. I'm not going to jump on it either because you got two teams that are in an over scenario. The Marlins are 8-2. The last 10 meetings against Pittsburgh, 4 straight wins at Pittsburgh. So, so we definitely see a little edge there for the Marlins. And as I said, the under in this matchup has been the flavor of the day in the head-to-heads. But Pittsburgh, 1-4, their last 5 home games, 1-5 in Glasnow's last 6 starts. So little edge for Miami. I'm not seeing a big enough dog to want to jump on it. The over is 21-8-5 in the Marlins' last 34 road games versus a righty. And as I said, on the road, 13-6-2 this season, while Pittsburgh 10-4-1 to the over their last 15 overall. So 2 over teams, when they get together, it's been under. Going to pass this one by. Going to jump on the Chicago White Sox and the Cleveland Indians, which will be the next game on the board. So the White Sox have not done very well when Kubler is on the mound for the Indians, as Kubler is, the under has been dominating when Kubler is on the mound versus the White Sox. 10 unders, 1 over, the last 11 starts, 5-1-1 to the under for these two head-to-head the last 7 meetings. So we definitely are looking for a way to play this under. White Sox 4 straight wins in Cleveland. Big fat dog today, but I certainly don't want to play against Kubler in this matchup. The White Sox 21-50, their last 71 on the road. That'll give you a good reason not to bet them. 5-16 on the road, their last 6 games versus a right-hander. They are 1-7 their last 8 overall, and Gonzalez 1-6 his last 7 starts, 0-5 on the road. No reason to back this dog. Kubler 20-6 his last 26 starts versus the Indians, so it has not been a pretty scenario. So value in the parlay possibly with, but you're paying a price here, -250, but they could have some value if you want to throw Cleveland into the parlay mix for today. The under, though, has definitely been the flavor when Kubler is on the mound. 4 straight overall, 6 out of 8 at home have gone under. And as I said, when these two teams get together, it has been, and Kubler is on the mound, 10-1 to the under. So I see a small couple unit play here with Cleveland and Chicago under the 8, opened up 8.5. You can see why it's steamed, and the under seems to have a little bit of a value. Next play on the board, going to be the Detroit Tigers, and they are going to face the Boston Red Sox. And the Tigers have had their way in Boston the last 5 games. 4 of them have been winners. 4 straight, and they've also won 4 out of 5 in the last 5 meetings overall. So Tigers, a little bit of an edge going in head-to-head. The under has been the money, 7-2-1 the last 10 meetings in Boston. And the Tigers, they're hot right now, somewhat hot, 5-2 their last 7 overall. 12-5 versus a lefty, but 0-6 when Zimmerman has been on the road. Red Sox come in 5 out of their last 6 home games as winners, 9 out of 3 their last 12 versus a right-handed starter. So a little bit something there. I don't see much of advantage either side of this play, either side of this game. The over has hit for Detroit 5 of the last 7, and 5 of the last 7 versus a lefty, and 7 of the last 11 versus a lefty with 1 push. And Zimmerman, when he gets on the mound, over 16, 5-1 his last 22 starts overall. But Boston does not complement it because they are 7-3 their last 10 games versus a righty to the under, and 4 straight home unders. Once again, I'll be leaving that play alone, but I won't leave the next game alone. I'll be playing this Oakland-Tampa Bay game, and I'll be playing it over. We'll get to that in a minute here. The A's, not very good on the road, 7-19 their last 26 games, 1-4 their last 5 road games. 4-1, though, when Triggs starts on the road. So, little sweet spot there for pitching for Oakland, but nothing else. 4-1 for the Rays, their last 5 games on the turf, and 4-1 their last 5 at home. 6-2 their last 8 home games versus a righty. But in the first game of a series, the Rays are not getting the job done. 12-25 their last 37 in the first game of the series, and Cobb's not getting the job done at home. 1-4 his last 5 home starts, so we're definitely leaving the side alone here, but I see a play with the over. Oakland on a touch of the over right now, 4-1-1 their last 6. Unfortunately, 6-2 on the road, so a little touch of the under on the road. But 15-5-1 to the over after a loss. 4 straight overs for Triggs. 4-1 for Triggs' last 5 road games over. 7-3 to the over for the Rays, their last 10 overall. 39-19-2 during the first game of the series. So Tampa loses that first game of the series, and it goes over. So I see value in the over, especially when Cobb's on the mound. 16-5 to the over his last 21 starts. Absolutely see value with the over. 8.5. Opened up at 8. Bet up to 8.5. And I'll be playing this one over. And that will also be a 2-unit Emerald play. And I'll have all the picks at the end of the show again. Next play on the board. Baltimore Orioles, after a one-nighter with the Washington Nationals, travel up to the Yankees. And when these two teams get together, it's been over. 8 overs out of the last 9 meetings. And the Orioles have not done well on the road, as they're 1-10 their last 11 road games. So a little weak spot there for the Orioles. The Yankees open up Yankees are open up at a $1.40 favorite. $1.20 favorite. They get steamed up to a $1.40, $1.45, and you know why, because Baltimore has not been winning on the road. The total opens up at 9 and goes up to 9.5, back down to 9. So you got a lot of 9s and 9.5, so you're getting a little bit of a steam on the over, and that says, well, I guess the overnight is the 9.5 as you look at the screen. So overnight was 9.5. Back down to 9, back up to 9.5. So a lot of activity, a lot of peaks and valleys in that total. So the Orioles are 1-4 in Bundy's last 5 starts, while the Yankees are 4-1 their last 5 home games, 21-8 their last 29 home games versus a righty. So you can see why the steam is on the Yankees. You might be a little late for that, but maybe not too late to toss them into a parlay as well. Baltimore has been under 4 of their last 5 road games versus a lefty, and 4 of their last 5 when Bundy's on the mound, while the Yankees have gone over 14 out of the last 19 versus the AL East, and 8-3 to the over when their opponent scores 2 runs or less in the previous game. The under in Montgomery's last 5 starts has been the money, while the Yankees are 9-4 their last 13 home versus a right-hander. I'm not feeling much love either side of the total, and that's probably why you're getting a lot of action both ways on the game. But I definitely see a little bit of an edge for the Yankees here today. Toss them in a parlay. Now let's get to the play of the weekend, folks. The best play you got this weekend. And by the way, this show will not air on Saturday and Sunday. We'll be back on Monday again. So when I give you this play today, I give it to you again tomorrow, and I give it to you again on Sunday. So that means bet it on the overnight, guys. Get the early line. And who is it? Well, the 2 teams that I play over almost every day, and now they're matching up. Writing's on the wall, guys. The New York Mets and the Atlanta Braves. Going to be a solid over weekend. Should get all 3, but you're going to get at least 2 out of 3, I'm pretty sure. Nothing's guaranteed in this business, but I think you got an easy shot to get 2 out of 3, maybe all 3 in this series. Mets have been over City, as we know, and we've been playing them every day. And they are 4 straight overs in Atlanta, so head-to-head they're over. 6 straight overs head-to-head. When Tehran is on the mound, 4 out of the last 5 have gone over versus the Mets. And 5 out of the last 6 meetings have gone over for the Mets. The only thing is the Mets 13-4 at Atlanta, so it's really been Mets and over in this series. But the only thing that's kind of negative is the fact that Harvey is 1-6 versus the Braves, so not feeling much love. Plus, they're both weak teams. So, and the Mets, they come in 2-5. Their last 7 overall. So I don't want to back that. 3-8 on the road, 2-7 in Harvey's last 9 starts. 1-4 his last 5 road starts. 2 teams you really don't want to back. Current line on the game is the steam went to the Mets. Atlanta opens up $1.10. Now the Mets are $1.10, and as high as pretty much $1.12. So we got some steam on the Mets. The over is now, we're seeing lots of 10s. We see 9.5 was the opener. Now we're at seeing some 10s out there. Get on it as quick as you can. Get it on the overnight tonight. As soon as the game's over, it doesn't matter if it wins or loses. It doesn't matter who's pitching, guys. Just play it, because the steam's going to happen, and it's going to get steamed, and you're going to get the early line, and you're going to get the best number. So it's a no-brainer. And if you decide you want to bet against it later when it moves back, then you bet against it later. So you got a little bit of free action. You got a little bit of a free side, because the line's going to move and all weekend long, and it's going to go over. So the over 16, 4-3 for the Mets on their last 23 road games. And when Tehran's on the mound, he's 4 straight overs, 4-1 to the over at home. So obviously, lots of reasons to play that game over. Next game on the board is going to face the Angels and the Astros. This game I'm going to be leaving alone here today, but I'll tell you some decent numbers that may be of interest to you. 5 straight unders in Houston with these 2 teams. 4 straight unders for Shoemaker, his last 4 road starts at Houston. And he's also 4-1 his last 5 starts overall to the under at Houston. 5-1-1 to the under overall. So you got a little bit of edge there for the under. We're seeing definitely some action there. The over, though, has been 4 out of the last 5 when Peacock has started against the Angels. The Angels are 7-19 in Houston, so you see some value with the Astros again. And Shoemaker is 0-5 versus the Astros, so you can definitely see some edge there with the Astros as a big favorite. Once again, $1.80 favorite. They may be worthy of throwing in that parlay again. So Astros, we can see them, some value with them in a parlay, 39-14 overall. So, but Peacock 2-8 his last 10 home starts. That scares you away from making a solid play. As far as that total goes, Astros 6-2-3 to the over recently, 8-2 to the under when Peacock's on the mound. His last 10 starts overall. Leaving this game pretty much alone. And we'll move on to the next game, which I will be playing all weekend as a 3-unit play. And this will be a diamond play that I call. I have my 1-unit emeralds, my 2-unit, my one unit ruby plays, 2-unit emerald plays, 3-unit diamond plays. My executive plays are either 5 units or 10 units, depending on how we're doing. So, and right now we got a little warm again. Last night was cold, 1 winner, 2 losers. So we did drop 1 game last night, but we'll pick that up here this weekend. Obviously, with the Atlanta and Mets series, should definitely cash and get us ahead of the game. Got another solid play coming up here shortly. That's going to be an executive play, but as I said, a 3-unit play with Philly and St. Louis, and I would probably ride this a 3-unit play all weekend as well. And we're going to play that one to the over. And the over with St. Louis and Philly, the total right now is 9.5. I'm sorry, 8.5. Opened up 8.5, got steamed up as high as 9.5, but back down to 9 right now. So the over is 20 overs, 8 unders, and 1 push when the Phillies are on the road versus a right-hander. And the Phillies have been an over team on the road overall, 19-7-1. So always looking for a reason to play them. 27-10-3 to the over for them their last 40 games when their opponent allows 5 runs or more in the previous game. A little soft spot here, though, is Hellickson is to the under in his most recent meetings. So a little bit of an under there for Hellickson on the mound. But Phillies 1-4 the last 5 meetings versus St. Louis, 1-6 in St. Louis, 15 and 36 their last 51 road games, 10 and 28 their last 38 overalls. But Hellickson is their sweet spot on the mound because he has won 9 of their last 12 starts. Cardinals are cold, 5 and 12 their last 22, so you kind of want to leave it on there both ways. And as I said, the under in Hellickson's last 13 starts, 8-3-2. So when this game goes over with the 1 under pitcher, who isn't a dead under, but he's an under pitcher, this game should be a solid over. Waka 4 straight overs at home, 36-15-1 to the over, his last 52 overall. That should cover for Hellickson's small little under. So solid overplay here throughout the weekend. Phillies and Cardinals over the 9 or 9.5, depending on what your line is, but obviously look for the 9. Next game on the board is going to be another executive game, and this is the game that I definitely have some love for here this weekend. The Milwaukee Brewers traveling to the Arizona Diamondbacks, and game opens up with the D-backs at $1.40, and they're steamed up to maybe $1.45, $1.50. D-backs strong home team, and a strong over home team. So, and I'm going to roll with that over. Total opens up 9.5, and we're seeing 10s. Now it's all 10s. Even when we started the show, it was 9.5. So it's getting steamed. The over is definitely the play here. Brewers, one of the reasons why you really can't jump all over, or the low price on Arizona at home, is Davies is 7-2. His last 9 starts, 5-2 his last 7 on the road. But he's 1-4 in Arizona. The D-backs, as I said, strong home team, 37-16. Strong team right now, 16-7. And Delgado, 7-1 his last 8 home starts. So probably some value there with Arizona laying a small number of $1.40 at home. And the total on this game, Davies is 3-0-1 to the under his last 4 starts, 3-1-2 to the over his last 6 on the road. So that kind of washes each other out. And but D-backs, we know, have been an over team at home. They're over right now. We've been on that too. So 4 straight overs, and looking to continue that. Delgado has been over, and 9 out of his last 12, and 73 home games for the Diamondbacks. The overs hit 49 times, 21 unders, and 3 pushes. So solid play for the over all weekend long. Arizona, Milwaukee, let's play it over. You'll see, you bet it on the overnight again, you'll be on the game before it moves. The value will definitely be there. Let's hope the final score is there for us. All right, next game on the board will be the Cincinnati Reds, and they will be traveling to the Los Angeles Dodgers. And the Dodgers open up a $1.90 favorite with Hill on the mound, and Reds got Garrett on the mound. And the Reds have not had success in L.A. 29-6 for the Dodgers, the last 35 meetings for them at home. And the Reds have not had success at all versus L.A. the last 13 games, as they are 2-11. But they're hot right now. They've hit 4 straight. So maybe it's a time for them. I don't know. Maybe value in the dog. I don't know. Garrett, He's 2-5 his last 7 starts. And the Reds, even though 4 straight wins, 1-4 on the road, and 19-41 versus a lefty. Don't think I'll be back in that tonight. Dodgers are 4-1 their last 5 home starts versus a lefty. 37-15 overall at home. So hot home team. So not really seeing the value with the $2 favorite for the Dodgers. Not seeing a lot of Dodger love here. So see a little bit of love on the unders. The Dodgers are 4 straight unders, 5 out of 6 at home. And the Reds are 8-1 to the under on the road versus a left-handed pitcher. So little something on the under. Total opened up at 8. It's been steamed up to 8.5. And let's see if it's the under's just 8.5 minus a quarter. So maybe a little value on the under in this matchup, but I'll be leaving this one alone. And the next game on the board is going to face the Kansas City Royals. They are playing at the San Diego Padres. The over has hit 9 out of the last 12 on these two when these two teams have met. San Diego is or has opened up at $1.20 favorite. Where'd you go, guys? There you are. I'm sorry. Kansas City opened up $1.05 favorite. Now San Diego has been steamed up to $1.20 favorite. So lots of steam on Chacin for San Diego, and Skoglund for Kansas City has been a fade here today. Royals 2-7 in San Diego. That might be why. 2-7 versus San Diego might be another reason why. 18-6 though for the Royals. Their last 24 interleague games when they play a team with a losing record, but 6-16 their last 22 road games versus a righty, which is most of them. So not doing well on the road either. Padres, they're hot at home, 5-2, but interleague games, they don't do well. 8-28, 0-7 versus a left-handed pitcher. 0-5 their last 5 overall. So not seeing a reason to back either side of this team. As far as the total goes, the Kansas City's interleague unders, 10-2 versus the interleague matchup, and an interleague matchup versus a team with a losing record. San Diego, 4 straight overs versus a lefty, 5-1 their last 6 overall. Chacin has been an over in his last 8 starts. He's 6-1-1, and the Padres go over in the interleague game. So not seeing much of a value in the total here either. So I'll be leaving this game alone here today and moving on to the next game on the board, which is the Toronto Blue Jays traveling to the Seattle Mariners. And I see maybe a little something here. The Blue Jays, they've won 4 straight meetings, but they're 3-7 in Seattle. But the over has hit 8 out of the last 11 in Seattle. So I see a little something here for the over. We'll get to that in a minute. Blue Jays 6-1 versus a righty, 11-5, their last 16 overall. So they're playing well. So are the Mariners, 5-1 their last 6, 5-1 at home. The under, touch of the unders for the Blue Jays, 3-1-1 their last 5, but 7-1-1 for the Mariners over in their last 9 games, the last 9 game ones. So a little bit of an over there. Definitely got some steam on that over as that game went from San Diego minus $1, or went from 8. No total on that. Wait a second. I'm on the wrong game. This is what's tough about live, guys. I'm looking at the wrong game. Oakland, yes, as I said, there was some steam on that game. I knew I had it. Opened up 8.5, steamed up to 9 right now. And I see maybe a little value there with a little bit of an overplay. And that brings us to the end of BettorCenter week. I think we're in week 3 now, week 2, week 3. But we're getting there, guys. We're chopping this stuff down, keeping it short. So now, let me recap the games here real quick. That's what I never did. Okay, our picks for today. I'll do a quick little recap. And the red hot picks. As soon as I get this, the 3-unit play is Philadelphia and St. Louis. We're going to be playing that one over for the weekend. Opened up at 9.5. Over 9 right now, so we're going to play that one over as a 3-unit play. We are playing, and then our executive games, I'll have my other ones here in a minute. I don't want to give you the wrong games. I'm live, and I got a lot of plays. I rate them a little differently, so I certainly would hate to give you the wrong play and I kind of did that yesterday when I said I wasn't playing it, but I actually did play it. But when the line changed live, I was saying, I don't want nothing to do with that. So, anyways. So we played that for 3 units, the St. Louis and the Phillies over. Then we have the 2 executive plays this weekend, the Mets and the Braves. We will be playing that one over all weekend. Today we're at 9.5 on that. It's actually 10 right now. So I would not, I see a lot of 9.5s. I see some 10s on that. The one that's actually 10 right now is the other one, the Arizona-Milwaukee. We'll be playing that one over all weekend, guys. Both plays over all weekend. Mets and the Braves over, Arizona and Milwaukee over. If I were choosing to play one stronger than the other, it would absolutely be the Atlanta and the Atlantic and the Braves, the Mets and the Braves over. It's probably a double unit play. It's probably a 20-unit play when my other ones are 10 right now. So it's solid. It should be solid play all weekend. Make some money with it. And I will see you here again Monday with some more Better Center Live.